Thank you so much, Wendy, and welcome everyone. My name is Hector Del Castillo, Chief Product Officer at Beyond, and it's a pleasure to be here today to talk about this particular topic of 9 things ultra-successful M&A project leaders do differently. And I want to start with just a brief introduction. Last year, over 19,501 companies changed ownership in North America and Europe alone. That's a total of M&A deals, total deal volume of over $3.5 trillion US dollars, according to PitchBook, a marketing firm that tracks the M&A market. And that means that current businesses are currently managing over 19,501 massive business transformation because they're now furiously integrating post-closing a deal. And we'll talk about some of the issues that plague the M&A industry and markets, and what are some of the things that some of the best firms are doing to actually do it better than others, and what are the ones that are sort of failing in the way they approach the M&A process. And that will be the focus of today's discussion. Before I get going any further, I want to give a special thanks to the Great IT Professional, Wendy, and everyone else at the Great IT Professional for actually hosting this particular webcast. I think it's a great venue for project leaders and IT professionals to share their knowledge and figure out how to get more education and get into newer topics, emerging markets, and learn not just about new technologies, but also ongoing issues that are plaguing the IT industry, but also challenges to the IT industry for those of us that are working in the technology fields. Also, if you want to follow us and you're actually using social media, you can actually use the Beyond hashtag @BeyondMA, my own @HMDelCastillo, to share anything that we're going to be discussing today on Twitter. And you can use the hashtags digital and merger and acquisitions. So hashtag digital, hashtag mergers and acquisitions, and you can use also share on LinkedIn posts, and we will be able to share and like and follow any comments and follow-up comments either during or post today's discussion. And today's discussion, I want to start. We mentioned that the total volume was over $3.5 trillion. This is just the volume of deals that occurred in 2018. It was over $2.2 trillion of just deals involving North American companies. And this equated to the second all-time high record of M&A deals over history. I believe the only exception was in 2016 when there was a larger volume. But even if you look at today, the total volume, even though it's the second highest, it involved 11,208 deals of U.S. companies, and that represented a 6.9 increase in total deal value that year of 2018, but it represents a decrease in the deal volume, a decrease of 11.4%. So what does that really mean? It really means that each deal is getting more and more expensive to do. That's what that data is showing in 2018. The deal value is going up, but the total number of deals is going down. And this is a second all-time high for the U.S. market. And yet you find multiple sources of experts tracking the M&A market, and they're all saying that there's a high failure. And we'll talk about what failure means when they're tracking failure. Because due diligence and other things that are part of the M&A process, it's exactly to capture deals that are not going to achieve the synergies that either party is looking to achieve before the deal is even closed. And so often there maybe is some lack of terminology or lack of definition as to what is the expected failure rate, because you want the failure rate to occur before any kind of agreement has been signed off between parties, and that is why due diligence has to occur. So we'll talk about where some of these failures are occurring along the product lifecycle, and we'll talk about the the M&A lifecycle itself for any M&A deal. So why is it so important for companies to do this? Well, a base study that was actually published in 2011 or 2012, around 2011, 2012, looked back and studied a whole decade of information of companies, and they looked at companies that don't do any M&A deals, and they just focus on organic growth, and then they compare companies that are doing inorganic growth on an ongoing basis. And they were looking to actually answer this question: which of these two growth strategies yields a higher total shareholder return over a 10-year period? So they look back at all the companies and their performance of those companies across industries, and they looked at the ones that only focus on organic growth versus the ones that focus on doing inorganic growth on an ongoing basis. Which one do you think yields higher total shareholder return? If you can share that, either use the chat window or the Q&A, just let me know, is it organic growth or is it inorganic growth? From your point of view, which one do you believe yields higher total shareholder return over 10 years? I'll let you respond for the next few seconds, and you can either use the chat window or the Q&A box in your chat window to actually respond and submit your responses. See what you guys think. This particular study, as I mentioned, was actually performed by Bain & Company, a consulting firm that tracks the M&A market. And they actually track the M&A market on a global basis. But specifically, they actually looked at this particular period of performance between 2000 and 2010, and they actually looked at the following. They looked at the results, and what the results showed is that on the average, those companies that focus on inorganic growth on a consistent basis actually achieve higher total shareholder return compared to those companies that only focus on organic growth alone. And why is this important? Because inorganic growth is actually achieved through mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures. And that's what the companies that do inorganic growth are actually doing. And what we're finding out is that companies that do inorganic growth don't just focus on inorganic growth. They're actually doing both organic and inorganic growth at the same time. And this is the reason why, on the average, regardless of the market and regardless of the industry they're in, and regardless of the type of business they're in, the ones that focus on inorganic growth actually achieve higher total shareholder return compared to those companies that only focus on organic growth. So that's one of those aha moments for many CEOs that are driven to actually improve the performance of their companies. If you're an executive, you're only looking at organic growth initiatives, I would.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also getting complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.